Say it, stop. Say it now. Baby, don't you do, 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 do. 'Cause I want something real. Way to set up the screen, Ian. How many times have you streamed? Can't keep having this conversation. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's do this, and then let's do this. And then this. Voila. Perfect. To find out. Okay. So start recording. All right.
I like him.
Hey Sam, how you doing?
I like him. Time I've lived, I've seen some horrors, some scary behavior. But you see people try. I see them try to be better.
Hello, Sarah. Sarah.
How? What? How?
I don't know. I felt like you need a button. Maybe something a little more strategic than that in the future, but... Lonnie's got a button. Jack's got a button. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, we're editing. Ha! Editing's fun.
I'm like an old guy.
You know, very well preserved.
I'd like that. See people the way you do. I'd like that. See people the way you do.
I've seen some horrors, some scary behavior.
But I see people try. Oopsie doopsie. So that. Or did I screw up the music? Choose to do after. Save.
Come. Time I've lived, I've seen some horrors, some scary behavior. But
Gotta fix all that audio.
I like him. Time I've lived, I've seen some horrors, some scary behavior. But you see people try.
See them try to be better.
But you see people try. But you see people try. I see them try to be better.
Oh, Angel.
I'd like that. See people the way you do.
What she's asking for, what she's wishing for, is the ability to see herself the way Angel can see her. And here, in this episode, Wesley steps into the shoes of the man he sees Angel to be, and in doing so, finds himself. There are a lot of... Save! Trying choices in the first few minutes. Well, of the edit stream, yeah. I'm editing the ending before I... Let's go backwards. Shall we? Let's start a little lighter. A little lighter. We don't need to throw everyone in the deep end to start out. Here we go.
A couple fashion trends I constantly pray to forget.
No, that was the wrong one. Play. There's a curious trend among some of Jane Espenson's Buffyverse episodes. They often feature a character lost or... Oh, I need the script open. So, scripty. Google Drive. I don't know why I'm singing. There we go. Guys, guys, this is a lot of fun. The video, I might have ended a little bit, but we'll see. Jane Espenson's Buffyverse episode. No, I wasn't just editing Untouched into, Guys will be guys. What are you talking about? That was judgment, and not a sad thing. No, all right, no, damn it. There's a curious trend among some of Jane Espenson's Buffyverse episodes. Right. The Jane Espenson stuff. Jane... Happy Sunday, everyone, by the way. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Wasn't sure if I was going to edit stream, but I'm glad I am now. Executive story editor. The Harsh Light of Day. She wrote The Harsh Light of Day? Earshot. Where's Earshot? My brain is not working. I thought I was season... Why don't we just do this? There it is. See it. Eh? That's why it's not in the folder. Why isn't it in the folder? $37, $65, $27. Yeah, Jane's probably my second favorite writer on the show to Joss.
Don't you try and stop me.
No. No stopping. Just here for the view. Hey, look, City Hall.
Go away. Stop saying my name like we're friends. We're not friends.
I finished a Justified rewatch recently, and he plays a security guard in the episode, and he's a jerk. Jane Espenson's Buffyverse episodes, they often feature a character lost or ostracized, trying to figure out who they are in that certain time and place. The down...
Ouch! Damn it.
Yeah, the thing there's I love the connection in Superstar with about Jonathan singing. Jonathan singing is actually the voice of the guy who played Tucker, Andrew's brother, who is actually the voice of Aladdin, or at least the one who sang Aladdin songs. Some of Jane Espenson's, if I remember that correctly, since Buffyverse episodes, they often feature a character lost or ostracized, trying to figure out who they are in that certain time and place. The downtrodden loser finding their confidence. Yeah, it's a good match. And he does a great job lip syncing. Lip syncing. Superstar. When I hear that serenade in blue. Downtrodden loser finding their confidence. Jane Espenson only wrote 2 episodes of Angel. Yay, editing. Wow. There's always that feeling when obviously I'm stuck in a pattern right now trying to break out with gaps in the guides, and whenever that happens and I sit down and get a couple edits in and start to see something come together, I'm like, feels good. Feels good. Good, Donut. How you doing? Or I suppose Dan. Sorry. I need a Red Bull, apparently. Hold on. Alrighty. Downtrodden loser find... Oh, yes. Did I get this edit in? I did. Jane Espenson only wrote 2 episodes of Angel. Guise Will Be Guise and the Cordy-centric... I'm not a eunuch. Hey, Russell. How you doing? The sacrifice is impure.
Release.
Oh, that's what impure meant? It does indeed, Kelly. Working on it. Things are good, Russell. Things are really good. Seems like the world's a mess, so it feels weird to say that, but Script is done. I'm happy with how it turned out. Good friends, good life, you know. Certain time and place, the downtrodden loser finding their confidence. Jane Espenson only wrote 2 episodes of Angel, Guise Will Be Guise, and the Cordy-centric Room with a View, in which Cordelia... It's so funny. I don't know how... You know, I guess my stuff is of a particular kind, right? And so, hold on.
Better be sorry, you stupid little bitch.
Whining, sniveling little crybuffy.
I'm a bitch.
What was I saying? Must not have been important. All right. Of all the episode guides you've done, is there anything specific that you feel like you left out that was a missed opportunity that you regretted not putting in? Yeah, that's a little too many to name. That's a long list, and especially we have a wonderful hangout group, Patreon hangout group. Sorry, hold on. The mic's gonna make some noise while I adjust. We have a wonderful Patreon hangout group, and every time we're gonna pass where I am in the episode guides at some point, but every time we have one of those in the past year or two, I've always been like, crap, that was an awesome observation. I wish that was in the guide. So, you know, Buffyverse conversations are a continual and ever-present and long-running thing. I got into the discussion very late, 18 years later, whatever it was. And there will always be, that's one of the joys, is there will always be more things that people see or perspectives they come up with. And that will make me go, man, I wish I could revise the guide. Once I'm done, I'll probably start putting out little addendum videos. But I don't know. There's also that thing of maybe the best thing is to not special edition the episode guide and to just let it be flawed and imperfect and let it be what it was. Kind of like the shows. Episodes, they often feature a character, lost or ostracized, trying to figure out who they are in that certain time and place, the downtrodden loser finding their confidence. Jane Espenson only wrote 2 episodes of Angel, Guise Will Be Guise, and the Cordy-centric Room with a View, in which Cordelia That's where the edit goes, so we need another Room with a View. Did I teach myself software? I'll answer that in 1 second. If you have any problems, I'll be right down the hall. I'm here all the time. What was I doing? Sorry. Struggling with the idea. Nope. I think Room with a View is... Is it Room with a View? Buffy fan, you're making me nervous. Angel, Room with a View, story, teleplay. Nope. He might have a writing credit on it, but I'm looking at the IMDb. She's credited as the writer of that. And I remember hearing her talk about how she came up with the title, which is a dated thing that will eventually age out. What is so working? Confidence. Jane Espenson only wrote 2 episodes of Angel, Guise Will Be Guise, and the Cordy-centric Room with a View, in which Cordelia... yeah. Sorry, my brain scrambled there for a second.
First thing, I hire someone to...
No, what's another icon in this? Room with a view. Sorry, there was a question that I was going to answer. Oh, how did I learn software? I took, when I was in high school, a centric Room with a View, in which Cordelia, struggling with the idea that her... when I was in high school, I took a trade school course that was all about, I don't know if that's the right kind of name, graphic design and all of that. We were learning Photoshop, Illustrator, Quark Express, stuff like that, Macromedia, Dreamweaver. And at the time, I'll just go ahead and render this. At the time, we weren't learning Premiere, but Premiere was, we had the whole Adobe Suite installed on the machine, so I started opening it and dropping in pictures and then adding music, and then in my head I was like, well, the music has certain beats, so why don't I make this picture the same length? There's an intuitive aspect to video editing that is all about rhythm and pacing and stuff like that. And so I kind of taught myself Adobe Premiere at the time. And when I went to college for video production. And that was when I learned Final Cut Pro. We were doing Final Cut Pro 3 at the time. And one of the... one of the department, which was a news department, it was video production and news, with TV news, which is funny now because I really don't like television news anymore. But they were switching from tape to digital, and since I had been doing some video editing I thought I knew what I was doing, and being better about this now is like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'll just learn and try and edit the last thing and pick it up and do better with the next one. But I got hired to teach the editing portion of the degree I was getting, which felt a little bit of a mistake. And so, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. Sorry if I missed other ones. If you want to address me directly, use the @Passion of the Nerd so that it pops a red thing on screen. Confidence. Jane Espenson only wrote 2 episodes. Hey, Wonder. How you doing? Episodes of Angel, Guise Will Be Guise, and the Cordy-centric Room with a View, in which Cordelia, struggling with the idea that her current life and status in LA might be punishment. Going to be a podcast this week? Yes, Jack and I are recording it this weekend. Or tonight, actually.
Punished. For what? For what?
I love that scene.
For what?
I don't know. For how I was. For everything that I said in high school, just because I could get away with it.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of questions. Podcast, yes. I'm on season 7 of Buffy and season 3 of Angel, and to be honest, it's super draining emotionally. Any tips on getting through the episodes? Yeah, you're on 7-3? So you're going a little out of order. Everyone's different, and everyone is welcome to respond, but I actually prefer to watch the shows one at a time. And partially because the emotional tone of those seasons is so different. And if you did 7-4, season 7, Angel season 4 is a drag for a lot of people.
I don't know. for how I was, for
But everyone's a little bit different. Season 7, Buffy Season 7, Angel Season 4 is an emotional dead zone for me until you get to a certain splendid, beautiful welcome. But I feel you. It's tough. I'll tell you, it's worth it, though. It's very worth it because to get to Angel Season 5. So just keep going, is what I would say. I'd like to know your opinion on Season 7 of Buffy. I don't hear a lot about this season. I like it better than Season 4. That's about as much as I can say about it. But 4, 7, and 1 for me are... 1 for me is... the toughest one to kind of get into, but Season 4 and Season 7 both are comedy heavy and both have some missteps in the arc that kind of I get checked out about. Hopefully that answers your question. Undo.
For what?
for how I was, for everything that I said in high school, just because I could get away with it.
Hey, Josh. Welcome. Later realize it. Yeah, that her current life and status in LA might be punishment.
For what?
I mean, it's a, I try not to do what I just did, which is compare seasons. It's an endless conversation. I think that
For how I was, for everything that I said in high school, just because I could get away with it.
my favorite episode is probably either The Gift or Fool for Love, which is the next episode after this one, which I find nerve-wracking and exciting, and I hope I find good stuff, and I really want to find good stuff, and I want the video to be great and amazing, and it's a summary of the emotions when I think about that coming up. The Gift is going to be, I'm going to be a wreck. You know, just a wreck writing about The Gift. Because
Away with it.
I just so want to create something that you guys love, that I love, that is emotional, and, it's such a weird thing, this, right? Idea that her current life, I mean, these are not reviews. These are reviews, but they're not reviews. They're kind of, I don't know, celebrations of these things, and I've sort of found a particular voice for that, that maybe is different. I don't know. I don't know where I sort of fit in the pantheon of these discussions and conversations and all of that, but when we get into certain episodes, especially the ones that are so personal to me, Amends was one of those, Lie to Me was one of those, there's a lot. It's a lot. I can't wait till Fool for Love is done, and I will watch it with the Darla review. I thought about putting those both out at the same time, but they're so different. The flashbacks are there, but they're so different. No plans for the next top 10, Boris. I'm just trying to, especially with the all the slowness and the pandemic and the podcast and the hangouts, it's like I just have to be realistic about how much work I'm capable of getting done. 40-centric. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. Centric room with a view in which Cordelia, struggling with the idea that her current life and status in LA might be punishment. Are you looking forward to or dreading once more with feeling when the time comes? Looking forward to. I have recruited my friend Audrey to make something special. Hey, Calvin. Are you going to do a guide for any other series after this show? I have no idea. There will always be videos. Sorry, life and status in LA might be. There will always be videos, and there are other shows that I love as much as I love Buffy, which is kind of a prerequisite. When I first started doing this, I was like, I'll do all the reviews. I'll be a review thing. And I was like, I can't. It's so much work to do it the way I want to do it, and for it to be, for there to be music and a feeling and to say something useful or interesting or whatever, that I was like, I can't. There's a handful of shows that speak to me on the level that Buffy and Angel do. So it's kind of like, yeah, life and but I think there's definitely a series of Star Trek: The Next Generation videos. Restless review was amazing. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing is like, it's an amazing episode. So I'm like, well, we've got to do it's got to be a thing, right? Playing with the idea that her got to stick with the ones that mean the most.
Her current life and status in LA might be punishment.
For what?
For how I was, for everything that I said in high school, just
It's good to talk to you guys.
because I could get away with it.
Current life and status in LA might be punishment.
Later, that's wrong. Russell, if you mean how deep am I in Gilmore Girls, season 3. I'm sure that's what you meant.
Away with it.
Later, and I tell you, Rory Russell, if there's one thing we can agree on, Rory has the worst taste in boys. Good Lord. Oh, phrasing. Damn it, first name, last name.
Later realizes that her alpha dominant
well, Josh, I haven't always been solid with spoilers, but I do try. There are some episodes that I've actually considered using YouTube's editing tools to remove stuff because I thought, like, I couldn't leave a joke alone. Like, don't I get a cookie? It's just like, this is, I can't wait 3 seasons to point that out. But then I do it, and then I feel guilty. It's like this whole shame spiral of like, I should have been stronger.
is that her alpha dominant nature could be used as a force for good.
Yeah, I wonder. Gilmore's interesting. I mean, I should tweet more about it. I just have been like, it's a show I put on. It's a comfort show, so I put a bunch of episodes on in the background and to enjoy while I'm kind of doing some stuff. Sorry, hold on.
Could be used as a force for good.
But the biggest adjustment with Gilmore Girls were the stakes. It was like, no pun intended. It was the
Realizes that her alpha dominant nature could be used as a force for good. That there wasn't only one course. But God,
the stakes. So I just watched Justified, and Justified is a show about Timothy Oliphant. Yes, that snack is a sheriff. Not a sheriff, a U.S. Marshal, and the show is often sort of measured by how many people did Raylan shoot today. And then, for the first 6 episodes of Gilmore Girls or so, I was like,
I'll tell you what.
sorry, hold on.
Take that from trash like you.
I'll tell you what. You're all me.
Around.
I take. I'm not a.
There it is.
I'm not a sniveling, whiny little cry, Buffy.
Yeah, so stakes. How many people did Raylan shoot? Buffy, it's actually the apocalypse. Gilmore Girls, it's like, Rory's cranky, and Luke has new pancakes. like the stakes are just very different. So there was an adjustment period. Now I'm like, oh, it's super charming and a lot of fun. Except for Rory's taste in boys. It's really weird how much Dean sucks, too. Dean sucks. Wow, does he sucks. And, it's just like, stand up for yourself. He's being a jerk. Rory! I hate him. I hate him. I liked him fine in Supernatural. She's 16. Well, yeah, that's the thing, Sarah, is, it's this, I don't know. I don't have children, but I imagine it's some sort of protective dad impulse, like, come on, Rory, I need you to make better decisions. Lorelai feels like one of my younger sisters. But I mean, I think part of the joy of a show like that is be used as a force for good. That there wasn't only one course.
I'm not a sniveling, whiny little cry, Buffy.
I tend to think that's part of some of the joy of some of those kinds of shows is, of course the relationships have to be, there has to be some conflict and, Spike and Buffy are terrible abusers of each other. Angel's over 200 years old or something. She's 16. Come on, dude. But I'm just in it right now where I'm like, I'm still having my initial reaction and response to all of it. I don't know what to do here. There's not enough shot variety.
School just because I could get away with it.
Later realizes that her alpha-dominant nature could be used as a force for good. That there wasn't only... Later realizes that her... I love The Good Place. Man, I have watched that finale. That finale brings me peace inside. Later realizes.
I am not giving up this apartment.
It's haunted.
It's rent control.
Cordy,
It's a great line. I think I'm watching Fleabag after Gilmore Girls, or I promised to watch something else. Oh, a friend of mine wants me to watch The West Wing, which I've never watched. And then DS9. Probably. Sister gave up on the show in the final season. Have you ever given up on a show that late in the game? No, I'm really bad about... I once left a book on an airplane on purpose because I knew that I would be physically incapable of not finishing it. And I was hating it so badly. So I was like, well, if I leave it here and I don't put it in my bag and I don't take it with, then I won't have to finish it. And I'm that way with television shows and all of that. I think I gave up on Doctor Who. Doctor Who's a little bit different because, it's very episodic and because of the Doctor's change, it's a distinct voice every time. But that's rare for me. No, Josh, I've never watched The West Wing. Buckle up for Aaron's subversive misogyny in season 1. It gets better after season 1 at writing women. I've heard that quite a bit. Never seen an episode of Doctor Who. I enjoyed Doctor Who, but there was a learning process after Buffy where I was like, this show just changed my life, which obviously it did. And I was like, I want to find all the shows like that. And the thing is, like, that's a very specific and personal experience that is not easy to find. So people sent me recommendations, and I would watch them, and I go, oh, that's enjoyable. But that passionate response to a piece of media is just not something that comes along all the time. So, struggling with the idea that her current life and status in LA might be punishment.
For what?
For how I was, for everything that I said in high school, just because I could get away with it.
Later realizes that her alpha dominant nature could be used as a force for good. That there wasn't only one course.
I'm not a sniveling, whiny little cry, Buffy.
But guys will be. Ever thought of doing little reactions of what you were watching, like in the podcast? I love Gilmore Girls. I'd love to hear more of your opinions on it. No. Reactions are a whole. The podcast is probably as close as I will ever get to something like that, where it's like a weekly opportunity for me to talk about a piece of content I've been watching without a structured discussion. Semi-weekly, Boris. And like live tweeting. I need to do another couple live tweets for Twitter, but they're more fun when I don't say I need to do them, right? I just have a feeling. I'm like, I want to grumble with Twitter, so here we go. Or celebrate, or be excited, or feel. By the way, what do you think of the whole Joss Whedon thing? I don't. The thought I had about it was I need to do my art versus the artist thing video at some point. Good. Which is unfortunate because every time something pops up every time he's trending, I'm like, crap. Because I know that, inevitably I do this, right? I do this job, so people are going to ask me about what's going on with him, and I just choose to ignore. It's the funny thing is I started outlining the art versus the artist script, and I was surprised how many times an important piece of media in my life comes along with someone that should not be celebrated as an individual. So there's fodder for the script. We'll see. Is that her alpha dominant nature? Not everything needs to be content. Took me like 6 years to learn that, Sarah. And I'm still learning that. And some of my friends who do this, we're both like, oh, we should totally have this conversation. Oh, no, we don't have to make everything public. Realizes that her alpha dominant nature could be used as a force for good. That there wasn't only one course.
I'm not a sniveling, whiny little cry, Buffy.
But guys will be guys might share the most in common. But guys will be guys might share the most in common with Espen. Yeah, exactly, Josh. I'm good. I'm actually you wouldn't know it, but I consider myself a pretty private person. So there's that weird starting point where you kind of figure out where your line is about stuff and how much you need to keep to yourself for the sake of your own health and wellness.
It's over, driving away business.
But guys will be guys might share the most in common with Espen's own Buffy episode Superstar. Sonic, not able to stick around to the...
The dance of capitalist superiority.
Appreciate the donation. Not able to stick around the whole stream. Wanted to donate before I left. Glad to see you're doing well in this trying time. Love your content. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good. Sobriety has made cheersing. Is it as satisfying? Do I need to do a dance? Is there like a high five? I'm not really a bro fist kind of guy. One thing I've noticed is that now that I have cut out alcohol, I'm eating a lot of ice cream. Apparently my body's like, so we were getting all sugar through all of that, right? Go get some pralines and cream. I'm like, son of a biscuit. But Guys Will Be Guys might share the most in common with Espensen's own Buffy episode Superstar. Sophisticated as hell cheersing with ginger ale. Yeah, a Red Bull, like, I'm also like, yeah, maybe I need, yeah, that's a good idea. I recently started drinking tea. Tea for me was a challenge. When I was growing up. With Espensen's own Buffy episode Superstar. When I was growing up, my dad used to force us down and just pour tea in our faces whenever we got sick. Tea with honey. You know, my dad has a lot of the he says y'all, and is very much about the, you know, you'll get a chill and home remedies and stuff like that. I know tea is actually good for a sore throat, but that it seemed to me that was his, wow, superstar. It seemed to me that was his catch-all for sick. But consequently, I always now associate tea with illness, and it's something I'm trying to break now. Mostly because now that I don't, there's something about the ritual of drinking for me as someone who's now quit. Like the there was a ritual to it that allowed me to say, like, oh, I'm unwinding. I'm putting down the burdens of the day. I'm, you know, it was a thing. Sorry, hold on. Perfect. You know, and I think anyone who drinks on the level of, let's say, self-medication, which is sort of where I was. But Guys Will Be Guys might share the most in common with Espensen's own Buffy episode Superstar. Wesley's adoption of Angel's identity for the... yeah, so for me, a lot of... Especially a lot of what was happened with the boozy woozies was... I struggle to relax. I'm a very anxious, nervous person, and you know, having a glass of wine or 10 allowed me to cool out. But then the whole darling Guys Will Be Guys, dear boy. Sorry, I know I'm sounding incoherent. The whole apocalypse happening, my defense mechanism a lot went into overdrive, massive overdrive, to the point where I was like, all right, need to kind of address this. So but I mean, once you kind of cut out that whole deal, it's like, well, now I need to actually find ways of approaching and managing the thing that I was doing it for anyway. So, oh, this is my response to tea. I was like, how the hell did I get down? Kind of a weird guy.
Please, wait!
I'm Angel.
So, yeah, I think I'm kind of looking for that like, ritual and unwind kind of thing, but I don't want to drink coffee at 4 in the afternoon because that seems counterintuitive. So I thought I'd try and get into tea. Give that a go. See how it connects. Calvin, that's about the pace that I'm on now. Speaking of donations, I messed up with the super highlight in my chat. My last donation. Good night was meant for you. Oh yeah, no worries, Russell. I appreciate it. That's why I wanted to reach out and just say hey. Get airsick when I fly. Ginger ale to help. Now I associate it with soothing relaxation. Nice. Common with Espensen's own Buffy episode Superstar. Wesley's adoption of Angel's identity for the course of an episode bears some resemblance to Jonathan's magically adopted persona there. Spirits of the... Ba-na-na. I see what you did there, Josh. He's so Jonathan. You know what I really love? It's how he made me feel about me. An episode bears some resemblance to Jonathan's magically adopted persona there, where in the case of both, they discover that when it comes... By the way, Josh, after I popped in, for the rest of that evening, I was thinking, it's a leap of faith. I love that movie. What am I doing? We're in the case of both. I keep getting lost, having to bounce back and forth between... case of both, they discover that... Do I want kids? We'll say a little bit icky.
You were amazing.
I was a bit.
Film's about moving on. All the characters challenged to move on. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. There. Where in the case of both, they discover that when it comes to the most important things, they didn't need the magic. They didn't need the magic or the lie to accomplish them. I was a bit.
And the twins moved out. I went to counseling.
So they weren't magical. I think we were discussing that at the time. They moved out, so they were real.
You know, other kids with problems, and one of them had this spell. Supposed to get hurt.
Jonathan, you get why everyone is angry, though, right? It's not just the monster.
We weren't socks. We were friends.
Jonathan, you can't keep trying to make everything work out with some big gesture all at once.
Gesture.
Things are complicated. They take time and work.
Yeah. You remember? You remember I gave you some advice?
Watch out for southpaws?
No, about you and Riley. I mean, things are kind of starting to blur, but this cool thing I said, that I don't really remember, I think it's right. I think it's kind of the same thing you just said to me. About things taking work.
Yeah. I remember.
Good. Because it's true. What you have is really complicated.
Yeah. I remember.
Good. Because it's true. Because it's true.
Draw a line from this speech to Into the Woods. Josh, do you want me to rage about Into the Woods and get faint and pass out? Because I will rage about Into the Woods, get faint and pass out. Don't think I won't. Thank you, Russell. Russell's got my back. They didn't need the magic or the lie to accomplish them.
Because it's true. What you have is really complicated.
I had some reservations with Guys Will Be Guys on first viewing, but as is so often first viewing, but
Yeah.
Love that musical hit. I actually want that. Well, I've got to get work done, Calvin.
Complicated.
I had some reservations with Guys Will Be Guys on first viewing, but as is so often the case when it comes to these videos, Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Sanctuary 5x5. Eternity is a good example of one that I would like to revise, but too late. And it was, again, that Patreon Hangout discussion we had where I was like, that's amazing. I love it. That discussion actually changed my mind about an episode, which is great. I always want my mind changed about the ones that I struggle with or don't enjoy.
Welcome to my world.
Hey, Anna. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, The Prodigal was just okay for me before I wrote about it, and now I'm like, oh, I think that... I had some reservations with Guys Will Be Guys on first viewing, but as is so often the case when it comes... We're just going to do... I don't know. I think if we do anything in the late seasons... We're going to go 3 hours, and that's too long. I think 2 hours is the sweet spot. So if we do 2 of those episodes, yeah, Art LaFleur is fantastic. Although I just wish that he was actually Tish McGev. I had some reservations with Guys Will Be Guys on first viewing, but as is so often the case when it comes to these videos, a closer inspection of the episode, especially in consideration of the episode, How did your mind change about Eternity? I'd have to... I'm not present to the details now, but some of the things I wrote in the guide we discussed in the Patreon hangout, I was like, oh, I really love that interpretation. It was just about... sort of finding Sorry, hold on.
Your friend. I sense danger.
Where's the real Tish McGev?
We addressed just a bunch of the things that frustrated me about the episode. I was like, oh, now that doesn't bother me anymore. A closer inspection of the episode, especially in consideration of the season arc, made me discover Warzone next week. Did you want to just do one episode every week until we get to Restless and restart after a month or two? No, I do not want to go weekly. These videos, a closer inspection of the episode, especially in consideration of the season arc, we'll just have to see. God, I love that shot. That shot is so good. Vincent. That deserves...
Is everyone here very stoned?
Of the episode, especially in consideration of the season arc, made me discover... Just getting something with similar... Yep. That's Rian Rose. That's something I missed when I was doing that one. But yep, coming and destroying the town. It was a closer inspection of the episode, especially in consideration of the season arc, made me discover a new and more rich appreciation for what it does. A new and richer appreciation for what it does. When will the next episode of Buffy be released? That would be Fool for Love, and I'm starting it after this one. It seems unlikely that this one will be done today. So... hopefully mid next week I can be doing the live tweet session for... Oh, it burns! Fool for Love. Currently we're on a monthly pace, which makes me die a little bit inside saying out loud, but it is what it is. So, but Fool for Love would be next. I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you. It does. There we go. Get rid of those little pops. By the way, Sarah, if you are still here, these cross dissolves are the ways we were talking about audio pops. I just like if we're here, I just and again, I'm not 100% sure of what your comfort level is with Premiere, so forgive me if this is info you don't need, but I just click on the bridge gap between the two clips, right click and say apply default transitions. It adds a cross dissolve we don't need, and this is a fade, and then I just shrink it to its maximum, so that is all of what 2 frames, and that eliminates. They often feature. I'm wearing headphones now, and that eliminates the audio pop. The other thing too is I made something this weekend that I didn't listen to, or I didn't watch with headphones, and gave it to someone, and then went back and watched it with headphones, and that audio pop was there. I was like, crap. It just depends on the kind of speakers someone's listening with, but I personally find it distracting, and it's all over the first 2 seasons of the episode guide, so that just became a habit of building those little audio bridges. There's a curious trend among some of Jane Espenson's Buffyverse episodes. They often feature a character, lost or ostracized, trying to figure out who they are in that certain time and place, the downtrodden loser finding their confidence. Jane Espenson only wrote 2 episodes of Angel, Guise Will Be Guise, and the Cordy-centric Room with a View, in which Cordelia, struggling with the idea that her current life and status in LA might be punishment.
For what?
For how I was. For everything that I said in high school, just because I could get away with it.
Later realizes that her alpha-dominant nature could be used as a force for good, that there wasn't only one course.
I'm not a sniveling, whiny little cry, Buffy.
But Guise Will Be Guise might share the most in common with Espenson's own Buffy episode Superstar. Wesley's adoption of Angel's identity for the course of an episode bears some resemblance to Jonathan's magically adopted persona there, where in the case of both, they discover that, when it comes to the most important things, they didn't need the magic or the lie to accomplish them.
Because it's true. What you have is really complicated.
I had some reservations with Guise Will Be Guise on first viewing, but as is so often the case when it comes to these videos, a closer inspection of the episode, especially in consideration of the season arc, made me discover a new and more rich appreciation for what it does.
The greater scheme, the big picture. Nothing really matters. Favor.
There's a lot worse things out there. That's
It doesn't work in spite of you.
Nothing to do with
Works with us.
Why is it that I'm not on the floor this time?
Take all that matters is what we do.
It's so funny. I was sitting here thinking, like, video editing is a weird analogy for many things in life. The way I feel dropping in a clip, adding another one, dropping in a clip, very slow, time passes, step, step, step. And then I love that moment of taking a look back and playing the work and being like, oh, all those steps are filled with self-doubt and I don't think they're going to like this part. I'm going to get comments. And then I watch the whole thing and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. Of course, that's me going and always looking for metaphors and analogies and symbols. Blah, 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 blah.
The greater scheme.
Hopefully I can do it better on the audio on that one. I miss those pops a lot. I'll catch them when I publish a video. I hear it. There's a flash frame. Like, as you work, that kind of stuff's just going to slip through, right?
The big picture. This is what we do.
The episode opens with a curious focus on Wesley's outfit as the camera pauses just a moment for him to scratch his leg with his foot. How long is the audio? About 16 minutes. I love that little bit of blocking. I think it's cute. The episode opens with a curious focus on Wesley's outfit as the camera pauses just a moment for him to scratch his leg with his foot. It's a subtle emphasis that I particularly like on Wesley's use of what Donna and Park's foot. It's a subtle emphasis Wesley's outfit. It is the camera outfit as the emphasis that that I particularly like on Wesley's use of what Donna in Parks and Rec called Wesley is meandering about the hotel lobby with some paperwork when oh, script. Duh. Meteor, I have not. It's been a request. I was gonna actually do one with Restless. Hey, Sarah, thanks for hanging out. Good luck on your video. I was going to do a making of with Restless, but Restless spiraled out of control, and I couldn't do it, you know, like any kind of live action process video was going to be, Wesley's meandering about the whole, are you a creature of the night too?
Urgent? Life and death, is it?
It could get rough. I need someone with his special ability. Are you a creature? Are you a creature of the night?
No, but I was a rogue demon hunter. That's a terrible British accent version of someone doing a British accent. Anyway, Restless got too long. And the other thing, too, that I haven't figured out how to do is it's a lot of me sitting and writing and hemming and hawing and figuring things out.
Things get rough.
And I don't know how interesting that would be to watch on camera.
I was a rogue demon hunter, so I know how to handle myself when things get rough. I know how to handle myself when things... But I was a rogue demon hunter, so I know how to handle myself.
Yeah, nobody does a documentary on themselves yet. Well, it would be more like just a vlog of here's me doing this video. But yes. Hotel lobby with some paperwork.
Are you a creature of the night?
But I was a rogue demon hunter.
We can clean that up.
I was a rogue. But I was a...
Where's the butt coming from? I don't even see that in the waveform.
But
oh, there it is.
I was I was a rogue demon hunter, so...
There it is. Close enough.
I was a rogue demon hunter, so... I know how to handle myself when things get rough.
When a man looking for Angel's very particular set of skills comes in. A hotel lobby with some paperwork. I screwed that up. We can fix that. A particular set of skills comes in. Skills comes in. You a creature of the night, too? Man looking for Angel's very particular set. When a man looking for Angel's very particular set of skills comes in.
Are you a creature of the night?
I was a rogue demon hunter, so...
Just recently noticed streams. Oh, yeah, no problem, Meteor. Partly doing these streams helps keep me focused and working. So I get a lot out of hanging out here and doing this way too. His foot. It's a subtle emphasis that I particularly like on Wesley's use of what Donna in Parks and Rec called. Wesley is meandering about the hotel lobby with some paperwork when a man looking for For Angel's very paperwork, when a man looking for Angel's very particular set of skills comes. What did I do there? Why is that slowed down? Speed. It says it's 100%. That looks like it's playing in slow. When a man looking for Angel's very particular set of skills comes in.
Are you a creature of the night?
I was a rogue demon hunter, so I know how to handle myself when things get rough.
What's the shortcut for what, Angel? I'm sorry. How are you cutting small area of the clip from the long video so quickly? Oh yeah, it's in and out. Oh, you're looking at me do it over here. So it's I&O in Premiere. I think it's I&O in every editing software. It is in Final Cut. But this is the whole episode. And so if I zoom in on a particular part of it and I move the playhead around, this kind of editing is very different than something you go out and shoot yourself. I'm dissecting someone else's edits. And the frames per second of the sequence is different than the frames per second of the clip itself, so which causes flash frames regularly. But let's say I want Wesley doing that. I scrub to sort of the opening. I hit the I button, play. Stop. O for out. That gives me the clip, and then I drag it down to the timeline. And then what I do is, because this is not a seamless audio file anymore, so a lot of times you will hear pops as the waveform goes from one to the other. I always right click and say apply default transition. That applies a cross dissolve. Delete the cross dissolve, and then undo, shrink that down. And that's you know, that's the basic process. Do that 300 times or whatever it adds up to, and you got yourself a video. See, we just did the behind the scenes. Done. I don't have to do it now. West Fall counter. Well, it stops this season, Russell, so. Yeah, no problem, Angel. So for this, another thing I did, like, you know, one of the difficulties in this is shot variety. And so if I line the playhead up here, right click and say add frame hold, Premiere just made the rest of that clip a still, and then I can drag that out. I mean, it's something I do a lot. But it's just, especially if you want to go into the minutia of a particular scene, a lot of this is stuff that I just developed because of copyright, because you just can't, if you want to have a discussion of stop and have a discussion about a little bit, unless you're changing clips regularly, you're going to trip the copyright scanner and all of that. So I use stuff like this, stills and close-ups and zooms and arrows on people's chests, anything to shake up the look and feel. And ultimately, I think that doing those things, even if it's for the sake of avoiding the YouTube's copyright recognition software, which doesn't hit me very often anymore, or whatever the hell it's called, also creates greater shot variety and makes it more visually interesting within the piece. So, I mean, I know it's a good fall by Alexis, and it helps set up the journey for his character, both in this episode and
Get you out of here.
Well, given the plot of Spin the Bottle, that would make sense. And it helps set up the journey. set up the journey for his character both in this episode and through to season 5. But that's the... There we go. There's a 1080. Probably, Boris. It's not really a spoiler I'm worried about, though. And maybe I'm lying. But to me, someone doesn't die is less of a spoiler than someone dies. So, I suppose in my head there are gradients. Even scrubbing, I'm like, we're not even listening.
I won't.
Oh, that's a good point. Helps set up the journey for his character both in this episode and through to season 5. But I'm just not a fan of bumbling Wesley. Fred's kneecap, definitely a spoiler. I fall to pieces. Parting gifts. Gifts. One thing that frustrates me about being someone who records himself quite often is when I don't enunciate properly. Where's the knife? There it is.
Wesley, come on!
Oh, I know. Not fade away is very contentious, Russell. We'll get there. I'm trying to keep everyone contained about Connor and not fade away before we get there. When in our discussion, his character, both in this episode, no point in us all getting worked up before we get there. They're both in this episode and through to season 5. But I'm just not a fan of bumbling Wesley. Cordy pops by and is a bit less subtle than the opening camera movement was. Save. Feel like we're moving along at a reasonable clip.
Do you have any clothes a man would wear?
How much time do I spend on Charisma's hair? Nothing yet. Oh, you're talking about in that season. That's not the only way to... Pratfalls are not the only way to show insecurity, though, Boris. There's lots and lots and lots of characters on the show, like Tara and Willow, and, to some degree even Xander, who is another expression of insecurity without sort of the shy stutter and all of that. This particular variety of it is a sticking point for me. So in a video, a review that I write, we're going to hear about it. And it helps set up the journey for his character, both in this episode and through to... set up the journey for his character, both in this episode and through to... hey, Kat, how you doing? Yeah, it always feels good to be editing. Set up... The thing that sucks is I really hate my hemming and hawing over a script kind of journey. And then every once in a while, it delivers something. And I feel like it's kind of some of the connections I made at the end of this one and the place that I went to. I was like, okay, it kind of feels like it was worth it. And part of my learning process has been, can I do that and get the video out in a week? I don't know. It's an experiment. It's a journey and a process in and of itself. I know it's a good fall by Alexis, and it helps set up the journey for his character both in this episode and through to season 5. But I'm just not a fan of bumbling Wesley. Cordy pops by. Oopsie doopsie. So there's a flash frame. Oh, no flash frame. It's a good fall. I don't know what it is. It might be that it's broad. I talk about the term broad at the beginning of the review section. He's not a fan of bumbling Wesley. Cordy pops by and is a bit less subtle than the opening camera movement was.
Do you have any clothes a man would wear?
Angel and Gunn are breaking into Wolfram and Hart again. Hart? Self-esteem is for everybody.
Would wear.
Angel and Gunn are breaking into Wolfram and Hart again.
Evil white folks really do have a mecca.
I'm a parrot, and so I was just about to repeat that line, and then I was like, maybe that's inappropriate? Is that inappropriate? I'm pretty sure that's inappropriate. Oops. Angel and Gunn are breaking into Wolfram and Hart again. The existence of this grate into the sewers feels like an egregious hole in their security now that... Ha! Double meaning! Yeah, exactly. Why were they even surprised? Hey, Zorkless. How you doing? Welcome. The existence of this grate into the sewers feels like an egregious hole in their security now. Where's... And then you show up in a suit. Is that 5x5? Just when I think... There it is.
You know, just when I think I got you figured out, you show up in a suit. Good to see you again, Lindsay.
Yeah, Holland was in control. Don't worry, I'm going for something, Russell. The existence of this grate into the sewers feels like an egregious hole in their security now that the company has a vampire making a habit of doing this. Perhaps they have no real intention of winning? Thank you, Darius. It always feels good to be editing. Even though it's slow and painstaking. Just like life, Josh.
I'm quite dead. Unfortunately,
I'm pretty sure I could find meaningful emotional symbolism for myself in a McDonald's commercial. Did you see those chicken nuggets? They're like Sisyphus. I'm like... I guess you do see the vampire bites there. Let's see. Shot's a little short and there's a fade on it. It's a good one. Yeah, we can go that route, Boris. Same, I blame you. There we go. Perhaps they have no real intention of winning? Wesley and Cordy interrupt their attempt to head upstairs in a broad comedy bit that says to me, yes, we're hitting the pause button on the dark stuff we've been doing all season. Yes, we're hitting that says to me, spoken a lot about 1, 2, 4, and 5, so I'm eager to debrief on season 3. What do you think, it's a strong season or not? I think it's a strong season. 6-3 is, I mean, it's heavy. There's a lot of stuff, and once Mr. Connor comes into the situation, that's season 3, right? I start to struggle a little bit more, but I think it's good stuff. It's just like, you know, now I watch those in tandem. Sorry, hold on.
I'm in here.
I'm thinking risking our lives to save yours.
How'd you get in?
We use the door.
Oh, and they just let you in?
Hello, lawyer.
I don't know. 3 for me is a little less memorable than 1, 2, and 5. But I also haven't written about it. I imagine I will find lots of stuff I love once I start writing about it. It's cleaner than season 4, that's for sure. Yeah, as Calvin said. Wesley and Cordy interrupt their attempt to head upstairs in a broad comedy bit that says to me, yes, we're hitting the pause button on the dark stuff we've been doing all season. On the dark stuff.
Have you seen the show?
Rack focus.
You should. It makes whatever problems we have seem insignificant.
Come on now.
I mean, the entire... World ends in 10 minutes.
Love Judy. Yeah, we're not going to show that. That's one of the most disturbing things in the series. That is also disturbing. Man, Angel Season 2. Button on a little light watch. The dark stuff we've been doing all season. Let's take a break and... Man, creepy. Stuff we've been doing all season. Nope, that doesn't work. That'll do.
Told anyone else about these dates of ours?
I don't have an issue with Baby Connor, Russell. Baby Connor's cute. Stuff we've been doing all season. Let's take a break and have some fun together. Teen Connor returns in the back half of Season 3, right? That's where I start to lose interest. And I don't know if that was my first experience of watching it. That may now just be when I repeat the series. Yeah, last few episodes. Lawyer.
What are you two doing in here?
I'm thinking risking our lives to save yours.
How'd you get in?
We used the door.
Oh, and they just let you in?
Hello, lawyer. You're not going up there.
No, I need to do this. I have to find her. Where they have her.
All Connors are good. All opinions are welcome. Season. Let's take a break and have some fun together. Angel, have some fun together. Have you touched on the amazing redhead being in one of the first vampire? I have not. I didn't know that. I'm not overly familiar with the genre. I'm just very familiar with Buffy and Angel. Angel might be suffering from some Chillis interruptus, so the Chillis interruptus, some...
Give you one little moment of happiness.
Still with the Darla of it.
Did you encourage this?
I'm just going along for the ride.
Gonna be a pretty short ride. They have vampire detectors.
Oh, man, that's nasty.
Some Chillis interruptus, so that... Oh, that was a flash frame. Yep. He doesn't care about the dude's foot. It's just gross. That's good stuff by J. August. The other thing, too, is for me, 6... I mean, I've said 6 is my favorite season in the series, flawed though it may be. And so there's so much emotionally going on in 6 that I identified with, that was personal for me and so forth. And that might be overshadowing my memory or response to 3. Season. Let's take a break and have some fun together. Angel might ripped out of heaven versus together. Angel might be suffering from some chillis interruptus, so the team goes to see Lorne. To see Lorne. What Man, that's nasty. Lorne goes to see Lorne. Beck.
Reads their souls, senses their futures.
Notice what he said?
Demons. The angel over there? He helps demons. Reads their souls, senses their futures.
See that demon over there? He helps demons, reads their souls. So demons have souls.
Yes, but he can only do it when they sing karaoke.
I thought maybe I'd seen you walk away for the last time. You doing okay?
Yeah.
What's wrong with less feeling?
I guess I'm a little, rocky.
You're Rocky, and Rocky 2, and half of the one with Mr. T. Tell me about it.
I just...
I got you.
Wait, are you saying... Is he gonna sing? Oh, God, is Angel gonna sing?
You don't have to sing. You don't have to... You don't have to sing. A break for you, a break for me, and a break for Mr. Manilow.
Okay. You sure?
I do love when David does comedy. I just feel like it just often feels out of place on the show. But David is funny. The funny thing is I deliberately... Wesley's observation about Demon Souls was in the script. And I was like, nope, I'm leaving that out of the video. I don't need to fuel the Soul Canon conversation. Once we get to Orpheus, that will be enough. Goes to see Lorne.
You don't have... You don't have to...
Well, shoot. Let's see. No, you haven't, Russell. It's just like, it's an endless part of our community.
You don't have to sing.
And it's important when talking about story and character, but there's nothing in particular in regards to story and character in this one that relates to Soul Canon, so I was like, I'm leaving it out! Orn.
You don't have to sing. A break for you, a break for me, and a break for Mr. Manilow.
Okay.
Oh.
If you think so.
Hello. Okay. You sure?
What? How are we doing on time? Good. One of my favorite running gags is Angel's barely concealed desire to be a good singer. Basically dream. Basically. And no, I don't schedule the edit streams, so... this is the chain. This... Stop. Do you like... Oh, I can show you guys this. Oh, wait. Bick. I haven't bought it yet, but... yeah. Need to purchase. Oh, here. Link. There you go. By the way, not a sponsor, not mine. I'm just sharing it as a fan. Yeah, that's bookmarked. I need to buy it, but I love it so much. I need to use the restroom, so let's put on the hold music. Da, da, da. I will be right back. This is from A River Runs Through It by Norman MacLean. Help, he said, is giving part of yourself to somebody who comes to accept it willingly and needs it badly. So it is, he said, using an old homiletic transition, that we can seldom help anybody. Either we don't know what part to give, or maybe we don't like to give any part of ourselves. Then, more often than not, the part that is needed is not wanted. And even more often, we do not have the part that is needed. For some time after my brother's death, my father struggled for more to hold on to. "Are you sure you've told me everything about his death?" he asked. I said, "Everything." "It's not much, is it?" "No," I replied. "But you can love completely without complete understanding." "That I have known and preached," my father said. Then he asked, "After you've finished your true story sometime, why don't you make up a story and the people to go with it? Only then will you understand what happened and why. It is those we live with and love and should know who elude us." Now nearly all those I loved and did not understand when I was young are dead, but I still reach out to them. Of course now I'm too old to be much of a fisherman, and now of course I usually fish the big waters alone, although some friends think I shouldn't. Like many fly fishermen in western Montana, where the summer days are almost Arctic in length, I often do not start fishing until the cool of the evening. Then in the Arctic half-life of the canyon, all existence fades to a being with my soul, and memories, and the sounds of the Big Blackfoot River, and a 4-count rhythm, and the hope that a fish will rise. Eventually, all things merge into one, and a river runs through it. The river was cut by the world's great flood and runs over rocks from the basement of time. On some of the rocks are timeless raindrops. Under the rocks are the words, and some of the words are theirs. I am haunted by waters. Just a moment, and then we'll get back to it. Okay. Let's keep going. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Living with family. Season is your favorite. 6. Oh, wait. Living with family, and they have the entire season of... Yeah, 6. But I mean, a friend of mine who was going through the show for the first time told me that watching 6 during these times was tough. Which I get. It's a heavy season. And I think maybe we're all looking for a little bit of relief. But I've been trying to play The Last of Us Part 2, and I'm just like... Oh. Like, whenever I play, it's enjoyable. It's gorgeous. The acting is unbelievable. I love exploring Seattle. But I'm like, I don't know if I have it in me today. Let's watch Gilmore Girls. One of my favorite running gags is Angel's barely concealed desire to be a good singer. Lauren recommends Angel see a Swami-type guy to boost his mood. His...
Cholito. Here. What's this?
Yeah, Gilmore Girls is fun. I'm not sure to what you're referring, Kat, but I'll try and not take it personally. No, we're not going to go there. Ooh. Yeah, I've got to tweet a little bit more. I just got onto season 3. Oh, undo. One of my favorite running gags is Angel's barely concealed desire to be a good singer. Lauren recommends Angel see a Swami-type guy to boost his mood. The Tish McGev in question is a bit of a surprise for Angel and us. Ooh, wouldn't that be cool if Angelus was a dope singer? That would have been a neat detail. Something about the soul instilling, robbing him of self-doubt and confidence or something like that. Could have been interesting. Have you seen the film A River Runs Through It? I have. I prefer the book. But I think both have its merits. I think it's a hard book to transfer. But he did an interesting job. It's my dad's favorite book. But I've reread it every few years, 5 or 6 times. I don't usually reread a book, but I've reread A River Runs Through It a few times. You know, there's pieces of media that I learn or have picked up different parts from. That's kind of the whole premise of the channel. And A River Runs Through It was... What? That bit that I played was one of them. I mean, his father's sermon on how to love difficult people, the line, "We can love completely without complete understanding," was a huge influence on my life. The ability to feel different than a family member or a friend and think that that means something, but to love anyway. Yeah, that was a lot. Also, I think it's just the language in A River Runs Through It is gorgeous, and you lose that in the film version.
Sure.
One of my favorite running gags is Angel's barely concealed desire to be a good singer. Lorne recommends Angel see a Swami-type guy to boost his mood. The Tishmagev in question is a bit of a surprise for Angel and us. I like this subversion of expectations until I don't.
You're the Swami?
Oh, Cat, got it. You're talking about the singer. I thought... I guess I make everything about me. I apologize. I need to work on that. It's not that complicated, Boris. It doesn't make something good. It's fun when you do it. You know. The fact that there's a version where it may have been done poorly or done but forgot to address all the other bits about storytelling doesn't negate the fun and playfulness of doing it. Us. I like this subversion of expectations until I don't. More on that in a minute. Save.
Something like that. But you know what? Somehow I'm not that worried about you right now, seeing as you can't get any closer.
I don't have to clarify. I can say whatever I want. Also, you know, the way managing expectations one way or another is just a part of storytelling. You know, it's not the whole kit and caboodle. What does that mean, kit and caboodle? The Tishmagev in question is a bit of a surprise for Angel and us. I like this subversion of expectations until I don't. More on that in a minute. Some pushy clients introduce Wesley to play a bit of dress-up. Alexis and... Introduce Wesley? What? Pushy clients introduce Wesley to play a bit of dress-up. Alexis and David Boreanaz. I'll fix that in a minute. Some pushy clients... Mark... Actually, no, we want to mark that here. Hey, Mutant, how you doing? This is, introduce should be induce. Which is not great anyway, but whatever. Video needs to get done. I've got to talk about Fool for Love. That's interesting, Russell. Some pushy clients introduced... I think that was part of the whole deal, was the level of trauma she suffered. I mean, I don't know. Man, would that be a touchy subject to chat about as though it were real, right? Easy to wander into bad takes. More on that in a minute. Some pushy clients introduce Wesley to play a bit of dress-up. Alexis...
My boss needs your boss, so I...
Kit and Caboodle. Oh, I've been saying it's Kitten Caboodle. Because I like kitties.
My boss...
Hey, Council. Welcome to the world's most boringest live stream.
You're a wee little...
There.
Oh. And you're welcome.
Yeah, I thought it was Kitten Caboodle, not Kit and Caboodle. I think Ben just disabused me of something that I have been believing my entire life. More on that in a minute. Some pushy clients introduce Wesley to play a bit of dress-up. Alexis and God, introduce is bugging me, but that's fine. We'll fix it. We will fix it. Just want to keep the edits rolling. Introduce Wesley to play a bit of dress-up. Alexis and David Boreanaz are the same height, but the jacket makes Wesley look short. Red Bull does not give me heartburn now.
Please, wait!
I'm not saying you shouldn't fight. Just know I'll be there to stop you if you cross the line.
I don't need an extra conscience. I'll do what I think is right.
And I'll do the same.
It's interesting. So much of her dialogue in this episode is ADR. And it adds a weird kind of otherworldliness to her lines that I think works with her character, actually.
Fine. I think we understand it. Fine. I think we understand each other then. I have to go.
Oh, she. Yeah, interesting champion. I never noticed that before because so much of she is distracting to me. Introduce Wesley to play a bit of dress-up. Alexis and David Boreanaz are the same height, but the jacket makes Wesley look short. Love the detail that the costume designer made the Wesley version a couple of sizes too large. Where's... maybe I'm a little attracted. Too large. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
Okay, Pardell,
Maybe I'm a little attracted.
I see a lot of questions. Hang on, guys. Trying to get an edit. Large.
Maybe I'm a little
Nope, I did that exactly.
Maybe I'm a little attracted.
Short. Love the detail that the costume designer made the Wesley version a couple of sizes too large.
Maybe I'm a little attracted.
There's a trope called "You Were in Command Now" in TV tropes. It's one of my favorite lines. This episode is one of the few times Cordy is in charge of Angel investigations. Make me like it more. Huh. I didn't catch that. Idea for the Hangouts, since one day we will surpass the point in the guards. Maybe we can go back and do all the skip episodes? Oh, I see what you're saying. Maybe. I think we'd still eventually get to a point where we pass me. And then the question is, do I actually... no. I still don't. You know, I'll share my own thoughts and feelings, but there won't be a... we'll just see. It'll be different. Kitten caboodle. Nice. They look short. Love the detail. We're peeking there. Why are we peeking? I know I've cranked the audio slightly. Height, but there's the first one. Height, but man, I need to put up soundproofing. Driving me crazy. But the jacket makes Wesley look I do not want to discuss she in a hangout. Does that make us your interns? I don't know. No. Maybe. Same height, but the jacket makes Wesley look short. We shall see. The jacket makes Wesley look... Oopsie doopsie. The jacket makes Wesley look short. Love the detail that the costume designer made the Wesley version a couple of sizes too large.
Maybe I'm a little attracted.
When the day comes when you finish Not Fade Away, will you do a official top 20 without a theme? Probably not. Themes are fun, and I owe a top 10 this year, I feel like. Top 10 something something faith in relationship something something. The pushy client ends up being a warlock crime boss. I've never done a video on love and intimacy and all of that, and I think with all of the existential themes, the idea of romanticism in that context is an interesting thing. What is there's many of the commonly understood concepts of romanticism, I think, would seem to run contrary to existential philosophy and all of that, but Buffy and Angel have some of the most interesting romantic relationships of any show I've ever watched. So how do we reconcile that? That's the theme for the next top 10.
Get him a drink.
See ya. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Sorry, spaced out there for a minute. A crime boss. Look.
Benny, get him a drink.
Large.
Maybe I'm a little attractive.
The pushy client ends up being a warlock crime boss looking for someone to protect his daughter Virginia. Somewhere in this review I say Elizabeth instead of Virginia, and I need to find it and catch it. I missed it during the... That is nummy. Someone did a montage of all the swearing in New Trek. And
The vampire's here.
I was thinking... You remember those colorful metaphors? I don't think you should use them anymore. Why the hell not? Like crime boss looking for someone to protect his daughter. You forgot Fluffy. Thank you for the donation. Boop.
The dance of capitalist superiority.
Do you think you'll go back and redo some videos? I know in the Hangouts you sometimes talk about what you wish you did. No, I think there will be an addendum series. But there's stuff I would edit out of the original videos now, and I'm like, I don't know. One of the joys of YouTube as a format is seeing growth and change over time. So I think I just am trying to live with those things in the videos that bug me. But I might do an addendum series. Addendum to Season 1, addendum to Season 2. Yeah, Russell. Boss looking for someone to protect his daughter. The hell I can't. Client ends up being a warlock crime boss looking for someone to protect his daughter Virginia. Wesley's angel ruse introduces a bunch of jokes and hijinks. No, Josh, I've always tried to own that,
Doesn't that hurt?
Oh, hot. Hot.
I am the annoying Star Trek fan. The hashtag not my Star Trek fan. Yeah. So, Wesley's angel ruse introduces a bunch of jokes and hijinks. So I just try and keep quiet. I'm glad people like the new stuff, and friends of mine have told me to watch it. I just struggle. Some pushy. Actually, we can just backtrack. Ugh, it's the sound effect. introduces a bunch of jokes and hijinks. Meanwhile, initially surprisingly insightful at first, where's the wide? There it is.
Yeah, again, it's triggered.
The car is your problem, pal. Cracks in the Swami's suggestions start showing through.
What does she look like?
She's beautiful. Small, blonde.
Right. So here's what you do. You go out and you find yourself some small blonde thing. You better.
Have you considered doing future movie reviews again? Yeah, I think movie reviews are a part of it, for sure. I think the next movie review is still Her. Showing. One of the things I've noticed about that movie is my feelings about it are changing over time. Which happens. First, cracks in the Swami's suggestions start showing through. Alright, this might be a little loud. Let's just douse the whole thing. Insightful at first. He's, First, cracks in the Swami's suggestions start showing through. Things get intimate between Virginia and Wes. Maybe this might be one of those full disclosure type of deals. Maybe you should know your real name. Have Virginia and Wes.
Barely there. A recommendation.
Oh, yes, the curse. It's more of a jinx kind of thing.
Are you sure you're telling the truth?
Ginny, I want to be honest with you. I want to tell you everything. I'm not...
Sure you're telling the truth.
Ginny, I want to be honest with you. I want to tell you everything.
Wesley Wyndham Prush.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Boris, I just got it too. Did you have favorable feelings about Her to begin with? I really enjoyed Her. The first time through. The more I watch it, I realize I really enjoy two scenes in Her, and I think it's interesting. I still think it's interesting. I think the examination of love in a relationship in a different context is a curious one, and I think it goes to or brings up interesting things, but I don't think I love it the way that I used to. There are two scenes in it, though, that I think are absolutely spectacular. Showing through. Things get intimate between Virginia and Wes.
I want to be honest.
Well, if you've got to go to bed, Kat, thanks for hanging out. Virginia and Wes.
I want to be honest with you. I want to tell you everything. I'm not.
Maybe this might be one of those. Oopsie doopsie. Those full disclosure type of deals. Maybe she should know your real name. Oh, Anna, I love it. I do highlight the Buffy Angel parallels. Basically, the entire Bangel arc is in this, but I didn't grab that specific one. That's awesome. We will make sure it gets into the edit. The season 2 Bangel arc. True. Things get intimate between Virginia and Wes. Maybe this might be one of those full disclosure type of deals. Maybe she should know your real name.
I want to be honest with you. I want to tell you everything. I'm not.
Have points for attempt? Did I like or dislike the Angel Cordelia romance? I liked it. It made some sense to me. I was not... Bangel was not a sacred thing for me, and I think that, you know, I think that they were not an reasonable match, the way their relationship developed and came along, and so yeah, I've never heard the counter argument why people hate it. That's just kind of my personal initial reaction. But end of season 3, all of that goes out the window. I'm like, nah. First, cracks in the Swami's suggestions start showing through. Things get intimate between Virginia and Wes. Maybe this might be one of those full disclosure type of deals. Maybe she should know your real name.
I want to be honest with you. I want to tell you everything. I'm not.
Have points for attempt? We find out the Swami is a murdering fraud sent to keep Angel busy. Wes keep Angel busy. Save. This is one of my more efficient summaries, I think. We're going to get out of this in 4 minutes. And the video is 16 minutes long. That's what I've been trying to do for a long time. I hate when the summaries are half the video.
Wish you were here.
It's a very adult relationship. That's the thing I feel about Cordy and Angel, is if season 4 didn't exist, to me it seems like one of the more non-toxic, non-abusive adult relationships they've ever shown on the show. You know, and they're both interesting, developed characters. Neither of them is a Riley, you know, yada yada yada. So I think, yeah, I like the Cordy Angel relationship. But again, I'm not neither a Bangel nor a Spuffy guy. Have points for attempt? We find out the Swami is a murdering fraud sent to keep Angel busy. Wes gets revealed as a shemp, and it's... Yeah, those two actors being the same age. Yeah, why not? Try something new, Buffyverse. Busy. Wes gets revealed as a shemp, and it turns out that Elizabeth is a virgin sacrifice for Daddy's favorite goddess, though there's a problem. Favorite goddess. Yeah, the ballet episode is good. The Buffy reaction to Kangel. Ordelia? Yeah, exactly. Jessica, it's one of the rare... It just feels adult and healthy Two people encouraging each other to be better. Russell, we agree all the time. For instance, I'll throw something out that I know we both agree on. Buffy and Angel are great. All right, that was low. That was low-hanging fruit. I'll think of something else. Angel busy. Wes gets revealed as a Shemp, and it turns out that Elizabeth is a virgin sacrifice for Daddy's favorite goddess, though there's a problem with the sacrifice. I don't know, Russell. I think Star Trek's pretty awesome. Oh, did I?
The sacrifice is impure.
Those teeth. Oh, Elizabeth. Fraud sent to keep Angel busy. Wes gets revealed as a Shemp, and it turns out that Elizabeth... There it is. Let's see if we can... Can we cheat? And it turns out that Elizabeth is... We probably can't cheat. That's... Turns out that Elizabeth is a virgin sacrifice for... And it turns out that Elizabeth is... And it turns out that Elizabeth is... And it turns out that Virginia... And it turns out that Virginia... And it turns out that Elizabeth... Oh, come on, Adobe. And it turns out that Elizabeth... And it turns out that Elizabeth... And it turns out that Virginia... And it turns out that Virginia... Virginia... And it turns out that Virginia... Let's try it. And it turns out that Virginia is a virgin... It's going to sound terrible, and you guys who decided to come to the edit stream are always going to hear it. And it turns out that Virginia is a virgin sacrifice for Daddy's favorite goddess. That is some terrible ADR. Though there's a problem with the sacrifice. Yeah, I'll probably re-record the whole line. But, though, there's a problem with the sacrifice.
The sacrifice is impure.
12-episode Breaking Bad. Well, I'm glad, Razik. 12-episode Breaking... What the what? That's weird. Delete.
What's going on?
Let's go.
Whoa. 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 That's what impure meant?
There's a curious...
Whoa.
That's weird. Multi-flash frame. Oh, there it is.
Whoa. That's what impure meant?
Wait a minute. Crap. File. Save as. Desktop. Save. There we go. Huh. So, what do we do here? Cut. Paste. Oh. Woo! I remember when Premiere and Final Cut only had a couple layers of undo. And it was a big deal when they added that would have only been a loss of an hour's worth of editing, but 12 episodes. Upbeats before the... These lighter up... Whew. I wonder why that happened. So, oop. Sacrifice.
Whoa. Whoa. That's what impure meant?
A sacrifice is impure.
Whoa, that's what impure meant?
There's like 4 cuts in him saying that. I'm better. Everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you? Just scared myself there, that's all. Now I'm going to be paranoid and keep checking that those edits and the rest of the audio is there. Whew. Stop.
Whoa, that's what impure meant?
Okay. So... Angel and Gunn are breaking into... height, but the episode Breaking Bad style of urgent sacrifice for Daddy's favorite goddess, though there's a problem with the sacrifice. If it is a these lighter Vice. If it is a negative. There we go. Problem with the sacrifice.
The sacrifice is impure.
I never saw the last Star Wars movie. I stopped with the Rian Johnson one. I got a little exhausted by the dialogue about them and thought that was my experience of The Force Awakens. No, the second one, whatever it was called. See, that's how much Star Wars has kind of fallen out of the conversation for me. Was I had become so inundated by the online conversation about it.
Oh, that's what impure meant?
That I don't think I could even really have watched the movie and
that's what impure
had a response that would have been mine, as opposed to some kind of hybrid of... If it is a fate of all television to eventually go the 12-episode Breaking Bad style season arc, it's... Oh, and I wanted to show Picard for that. So, what clips are we missing? Parks and Rec, The Trial of Leslie... Nope. Picard episode. Yada, yada, yada. Forgot what I was saying. Probably wasn't important. Oh, yeah, Star Wars. So anyway, in my head, I'm waiting on everyone to not care about Star Wars anymore, and then I'll probably sit down and watch the movies once I can have my own fun with them. Obviously, I'm not worried about being timely with my own content, so... Style season arc, it strikes me that episode arc, it's... I watched a little bit of The Mandalorian, the first 2 episodes, I think, and it looked exciting. Looked like something I could get into, but I never got back to it. There's so much stuff to watch, and I've been kind of jonesing to do another Buffy Angel rewatch. I never actually finished my last one. I got derailed. And by derailed, I mean distracted, which I'm very prone to, of course.
I'm thinking risking our lives to save yours.
How'd you get in?
We use the door.
Oh, and they just let you in?
Lawyer. Her delivery on that one's adorbs. Strikes me that episodes like Guise Will Be Guys may eventually cease to exist. Episodes like Guise Will Be Guys may eventually cease to exist. Sometimes. Jaco.
The dance of capitalist superiority.
Cheers and thank you. I appreciate it. Good to see you too. I actually really enjoy these editing streams, sitting here working and chatting. Working from home.
Release her or die.
You definitely miss the social aspects of working in an office. My favorite is that episodes like Guise Will Be Guise may eventually cease to exist. That edit doesn't work.
Episodes like Guise Will Be Guise may eventually cease to exist. Some season arc, it strikes me that episodes like Guise Will Be Guise may eventually cease to exist.
Still off, but anyway, yeah, you know, working and grinding alone, not always super fun. Sometimes it's nice to sit and crank on the work while having a chat.
That episodes like Guise Will Be Guise may eventually cease to exist. Sometimes in somewhat
Hey, Raphael, how you doing?
If it is a fate of all television to eventually go to exist, sometimes and somewhat unfairly referred to as filler episodes within
the wide.
You're holding back.
Ooh, there was the vignette from the lens. Huh.
You're holding back. What are you afraid of?
Nothing.
That's a really cool location. Oh, you noticed the that dark spot?
You're holding back.
I mean, now the camera's moving too. They've got it on a dolly.
Guise may eventually cease to exist. Sometimes in somewhat times and somewhat times and
it's still there. I thought I got rid of it.
times and somewhat unfairly referred to as filler episodes. Within the Buffyverse, I think the TV trope term breather episodes is much more proper.
That's not something you forgive. Oh, we can stick with... We'll just stick with Angel. Five by 5 chance you blind date Warzone Sanctuary, The Ring, I kind of feel like the redirect started happening around there in season 1. And we'll just see if we can find another. There's one of you guys. Breather episodes. Okay, why not?
He's not here.
You lie.
You're lying to me. Do as filler episodes. Within the Buffyverse, I think the TV trope term breather episodes is much more proper, less necessary in a 12-episode season. If Mutant Enemy did nothing but ratchet up the season, if
Take them all.
Sorry. That's the parrot. Bick. It is absolutely a part of the season arc. Wait, what? Eh? Guess that file association is screwed up. Oh, the Scoobies. Would I rather be creating the baggage that I'm going to need therapy for, or
Guess that means
a member of Angel Investigation?
let's go.
Scarred and recovering from the baggage that I need therapy for. I think I'd rather be creating. Mutant Enemy did nothing but ratchet. 12-episode season. If Mutant Enemy did nothing but ratchet up the tension over the course of Angel's 22-episode second season, it's possible that the results would become unbearable. And it wasn't intended that way, Boris, but I think it says something that you can read it as that.
Snake in the wood shit.
nothing but ratchet up the tension over the course of Angel's 22-episode second season, it's possible that the results would become unbearable, and perhaps eventually... I didn't mean to do that, but I'm fine with it. Unwatchable. Though I wonder where in the evolution of television the necessity of these kinds of episodes became a natural part of the development of a season for a writer's room. I don't know. Russell, that's an interesting question. She has kind of a soul within a soul kind of complication to the trauma that she was subjected
it's a
to.
little exposed, though, isn't it? I mean,
Losing your mind and
really
then
say,
losing
yeah.
your soul. But again, you get into questions of mental illness and trauma and all of that that would be very difficult to parse out. It's possible that the results would become unbearable and perhaps eventually unwatchable. Though I wonder where in the evolution of television the necessity of these kinds of episodes became a natural part of the development of a season. The necessity of these kinds of episodes became a natural part of the development of a season for a writer's room.
You should have heard the things you said in your sleep. Nasty things, Angel. Things like... Stop. No. You stop!
It's interesting. It's hard for me to now not see what she does as anything other than abuse. Episodes became a natural part of the development of a season for a writer's room. These lighter upbeats before the downs stand out even more to me in the Buffyverse.
Oh, no, not the sun, for I'm a vampire. Oh, it burns. Oh.
Well, I think, Russell, we can do both. I'm not saying don't have empathy and compassion for who she was before.
I am so Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not the sun, for I'm a vampire. Oh, it burns. Oh.
Writer's room. These lighter upbeats before the downs stand out even more to me in the Buffyverse. That is, or the downs stand out even more to me in the Buffyverse. That is. Let's do this. They had many cuts in the Buffyverse. That is such a. There we go. Actually, I want Charisma's reaction.
Oh.
That one.
Oh.
That's great. Verse that it is. Such a tremendous mashup of comedy, drama, fantasy, smash up of comedy. Drama, fantasy, and sometimes science fiction. And sometimes Boom. Oh. Boom. Mashup of comedy, drama, fantasy, and sometimes science fiction. Go. Actually, we could just do fantasy and sometimes science fiction with Hush. That's the one. Boop, boop, boop. That is such a tremendous mashup of comedy, drama, fantasy, and sometimes science fiction. Go Fish. Wow, the cuts in their edit actually worked out. Go Fish well. Before Becoming. Fiction. Go Fish Before Becoming. Bad Eggs Before Surprise and Innocence.
Sorry, Junior, but a man's gotta eat.
I haven't gotten to use this line in so long.
I see your yeah and raise you a yeah.
I need to do a rewatch. Innocence.
I see your yeah and raise you a yeah.
God, that's great.
I see your yeah and raise you a yeah.
Most famous, of course, is probably I Was Made to Love You and Love You. Look at how saturated and colorful that gets. Very warm. I wonder if that was deliberate. Sorry to bring a little Warren into everyone's life. I'll be done quickly.
Where?
Man, what is wrong with the color in that shot? The whole episode has a red, warm... has a nice warm tint, and then... That's bizarre.
Hey, Mom.
Most famous, of course, is probably I Was Made to Love You in Buffy Season 5. Because the first season of Angel was so episodic anyway, how are we doing on time? Another 15 minutes. Oh, that would be interesting to... I'm not using the audio, Razzie. It's just a reference to why that is a downbeat before... Or, what, the upbeat before the down. That's a very famous instance of it.
To me after I threatened him with physical violence.
Wait, where's the hug? Oh, it's before that. It's at the break. There it is.
Okay. Ew.
5. Because the first season of Angel was so episodic anyway, Guys Will Be Guys here in Season 2 feels like the first real breather episode we've hit in the series. Not a eunuch. Hold on.
Virginia Bryce, squired by Mr. Wesley Wyndham Price.
Hey, Heather. Welcome, welcome. Squired? Oh, that's cute. Guys Will Be Guys here in Season 2 feels like the first real breather episode we've hit in the series, and makes me realize that for some reason I struggle.
All right, I'm sorry. You know this sort of thing best. How should we proceed?
Well, Gunn and I...
Yeah, Wesley actually, Wesley had a healthy dating life. I had forgotten about Angel talking about the smell. That came out wrong. Never mind. So episodic anyway, Guys Will Be Guys here in Season 2 feels like the first real breather episode we've hit in the series, and makes me realize that for some reason I struggle a bit with these types of episodes on Angel. And
not a eunuch.
Oh. I may actually cut this whole section. 16 minutes is long. Show me Mandy. There it is.
Oh, Mandy, well, you came and you gave without taking.
And I need you today. Oh, Mandy. Reason I struggle a bit with these types of episodes on Angel, and I don't with Buffy. Buffy doesn't have any filler, or, it's hard to tell in the early part of the seasons. The freshman be a bit something blue? I mean, that's debatable whether or not that one is meets the qualification of in a 22. It's hard to tell if it counts as episodic or a rest beat or Ben Candy Revelations. Ben Candy before Revelations. Lover's Walk, The Wish, Amends. It's still pretty episodic in season 3. Yeah, some assembly felt like filler. The bad use of the term. Some assembly in season 4 might have been interesting. Wouldn't that have been interesting? The Frankenstein reference to Adam, or would that have been too on the nose? Probably too on the nose. Yeah, Bewitched is a good breather. Good one. I mean, the Zeppo is one. Zeppo's perfect. Zeppo's a breather. And it's a good example of something that would feel broad to me on Angel, but does not on Buffy. Stench in the air, smell of death. Yeah, it's Bob. They're not baking a cake. Hey, Duralta. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Episodes on Angel, and I don't with Buffy. Guise Will Be Guise is very entertaining. Yeah, the soundtrack in Zeppo is I am doing well. Just doing a little editing.
Back? Very good, let's go. Wesley, can I get my coat back?
Guise Will Be Guise with Buffy. Guise. And and save. Maybe I won't cut this part. That's one of those moments where I'm in the midst of edit by edit by edit, and I'm like, it feels slow. But this will go by quick when we play it.
Of episodes on Angel, and I don't with Buffy. Guise Will Be Guise is very entertaining. Tons of fun jokes, but a lot of it feels pretty... Tons of fun jokes, but a lot of it feels pretty...
Myself when things get rough.
Doubtful on the edit tonight, but if I do get time, I will fire it back up. Try and do another hour or two. Chip, 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 chip away, you know?
He really gets into all of this.
I'll probably edit the ending offline so that it's not spoiled. Yeah, I miss doing these too, Russell.
Oh, hot. Hot. Cold.
Why do I use Premiere over any other video? Comfort. Just getting it done. Tool. I've thought about, I mean, I started in Final Cut, and, I mean, the problem is that this machine I built is a 2080 with 64 gigs of RAM and, you know, a couple of NVMe's and yada, 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 i9. For incredibly cheap compared to staying on a Mac. Plus I game quite a bit, or have started to again this year, and that was always an intention. Wait, what shot am I looking for? Oh, got it, Burns. So switching to PC just made sense. I did like Final Cut. I switched to Premiere while I was still on a Mac when they made they did the Final Cut 10 thing. And then, you know, it's just one of those. I'm sure other editors have good reason or good features to invite, but I don't feel like I use 75% of what Adobe Premiere can do. And it gets done when I want to get done. It's the paintbrush of my choice.
No, not the sun, for I'm a vampire. Oh, 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 it burns. Oh, oh. Oh. Oh, hot. Cold. Oh, 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 it burns. Oh, oh. Oh.
Not a eunuch.
Oh, hot. Oh, hot. Cold. Cold. Oh. Oh, oh, it burns. Oh, oh.
Not a eunuch.
Broad. The entire The entire opening scene in the elevator comes off like an Abbott and Costello quartet trying to decide whether or not to ride the elevator up and commence murder.
You're not going up there.
No, I need to do this. I have to find her where they have her.
Still with the Darla of it.
Did you?
Alrighty. All right, I think, let's save. I think we made good progress.
I've lived. I've seen some horrors, some scary behavior, but you see people try.
We need to work on that audio.
I see them try to be better.
I'd like that. See people the way you do.
What she's asking for, what she's wishing for, is the ability to see It's such a contrast going from just post summary to what I wrote for the end of this. Herself, the way Angel can see her. And here, in this episode, Wesley steps into the shoes of the man. We'll get to it. Yeah, we got a good chunk done. Might do more later tonight, and then I think I should be able to finish tomorrow and get her published. Yeah, exactly. How do we get here? You'll see. You know how I do. You know I go to weird places, and you know, I just got to thinking, and then I thought a little too much, and then I wrote an ending to this video that makes me smile that it is in Guise Will Be Guise. But we'll get there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream there, and I might be on later tonight, and tomorrow afternoon, and then self-braces to be emotionally devastated in a comedy episode again. Hey, you subscribe to me. But yeah, this one goes places that I think are good. I think they're good. I didn't just do that. I don't do that is the thing. I think, I think too much, guys. But anyway, I appreciate your time and hanging out. I may be on later tonight. Otherwise, tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye.